It's Zenzi. Hello, my friend. We got one power washer that way, one that way, and here comes my absolute nemesis. I hope it's not close. These machines, mass destruction. There's one that backs up right beside me. Free thinking is priceless. This is one of my 5 core catchphrases that define 2 things. The think tank called the Well-Being Philosophy Institute. I am, as I had mentioned to you, Carnegie Mellon degreed philosopher. Can't get any sleep, can't get any food, can't get any friends. I've had a real, sincere sense that you're my pivot point since Monday evening. I feel like I need to do this in person, but I also feel like I need it recorded. You're so sincere and so seriously filled with a future of loving kindness. That you trusted me to say that you've had an experience where the 6th syllable core bij mantra to experience an expansion of awareness. That's what it's supposed to do. And it's very, 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 these mantras. And we're going to specifically tie into Tibetan Buddhism right here. They're extraordinarily powerful. And I've been waiting for somebody to just understand that consciousness is filled with poignancy, pleasure, potential. I'm a philosopher of human potential. I don't even mention that. The ABCs are anti-racism, bio-electromagnetism, and consciousness. Clear, comprehensive, concise, creative, and current. I've solved consciousness. And to be highly specific, I've sorted the hard problem of consciousness into an easy pivot. Done all the regression thinking, 360 degrees. What is consciousness? How does it work? How do we, as individuals, use this theory to be vibrantly alive, to stand against tyranny, to bring the wise feminine all across every nook and cranny of Earth? Because if we don't, immediately the species is going extinct. Approximately 15 years. It was a year ago. I was 30. And I'm getting downloads. I have a number of cities in the tradition of Kundalini Yoga and Tibetan Buddhism. They use that term a lot. We'd use the term savant skills. I'm an elder savant. We actually have a phrase for it, acquired prodigious. Oliver Sacks did a book, Musicophilia, I believe it was termed. The title of the book. It's probably an article in the New Yorkers for I feel like I intersected with it. And guy, let's say in his 50s, serious situation occurred. All of a sudden, he just was instant Mozart or Beethoven, or is it classical? Definitely. That's not my realm. I'm hip hop. 57-year-old hip hop philosopher. Anti-racism. Top of the charts. Is that my hair, or is that just the sun? So a lot has befallen me, and that's where there's just a little bit of fulcruming. It's just a, Archimedes, just a little tiny. I've been waiting for somebody who doesn't gaslight me, that I can share that I've achieved the ability to explain consciousness. Now, science has to be done. I'm a philosopher, right? But at the philosophical level, the philosophical hypothesis of bio-electromagnetism. So the science can be bioelectromagnetism, sans hyphen. When we got biochemistry, why we do not have bioelectromagnetism? It is that simple. And this is Carnegie Mellon Stanford quality, intellectual property, specifically, and impactful philosophy. Because I'm an independent philosopher, or just because I don't have a penis. I'm not having people read, even spend the slightest amount of moments reading more complex. And, these people like Nietzsche, Sartre. I'm not there in terms of complexity, in terms of you gotta be in an altered state of consciousness to be grokking Nietzsche and Sartre too. Let's just stick with those two. Almost honked the horn. I'm trying to be careful, because here's the deal. I have been so gaslighted, and I have been so traumatized by people literally who feel my sincerity and all my stuff, but their brain doesn't keep up. And it's, in fact, maybe very more specific, their body can't keep up with mine. Now, my body does not look like we believe a very optimized body should look like. That's because the Western whiteness thought tradition, so if you want to keep Western, I'd suggest we need a better term. But the whiteness thought tradition is based on the seeing is believing paradigm. And I'm going to switch us over using wise feminine philosophy to feeling is knowing. I've risked my life and my dog's life. And that's the entirety of the sentient beings on this planet. Truly on Team Zenzi right now. There are people who keep saying they wish they could help me, but they're not grokking me. And when I'm working with a retired 92-year-old, I'm doing all the heavy lifting as far as relatability, but a 92-year-old, a 95-year-old, 70-year-old, 51-year-old mother with a son, completely nonverbal, autistic son with a lot of the mind and body. He's 13. Mother, diagnosed with Parkinson's, just broke her hip trying to sit down. Hip surgery. Ooh, the deer are crossing up above. Oh, it's the big deer. I was thinking we could get maybe a fawn shot, but let's just... There's some deer. Deer. Whatever series of events has brought you to PG, to this philosopher, Griot, I'm so grateful. And I'm trying not to overwhelm you, but I'm on the verge of death. Look how long it took me to say that. I'm showing so much resilience, strength, fortitude, fantastically creative solutions I'm making. A theory of consciousness belongs to all 8 billion humans across every nook and cranny of Earth. It has come to the point where really, and I'm trying to get to His Holiness, and since literally, there's a lot of harm that's occurred, and it's documented right here on this YouTube channel that I had asked a spiritual community for help to be able to travel to Dharamsala to pitch His Holiness, and I didn't even tell them what, because don't say you understand consciousness, then clearly you're crazy. Because it can't be done in the Western whiteness thought tradition. Our indigenous ancestors, perfectly clear. Any wisdom tradition still around, this ancestral wisdom stuff. I literally, one of the things again, and I got some IP that I will slice off to share with Stanford. It's really, I'm in a place where there's only Stanford, and because there's so much that has, whiteness has entrapped itself around me. It's on the YouTube channel. We'll talk about it, what the restorative justice, how we're going to make this happen, all kinds of things. The harm that technology has visited upon me, the harm that numerous departments of the city have. PG, I'm a philosopher, Griot. The city should have absorbed me like that. I came here to cocoon up this place, staging vibrant aging. One of my themes, after the important stuff like anti-racism and bioelectromagnetism and consciousness, made clear, comprehensive, concise, creative, and current. Hyperlexia. I got some hyperlexia. Because I'm so mentally fit. It's like when I tell people I'm dying of starvation, malnutrition, and sleep deprivation for 1,800, and I don't know, probably close to 88 days. I remember when it was 1,777 days. Oh, 111 days ago. You see, my theory of consciousness also begats quantum physiology. As Einstein, as a Newtonian physics, then quantum physics. Well, there's, in 2026, still Newtonian medicine, psychology. I am a valuable philosopher of physiology with just a BA. Therein lies my problem. I've tried approaching just about everyone, but with a little pivot, a little, on building trust and finding some right people to triangulate. Philosophy.stanford.edu. And it's a strong department. There's a lot of people there. There's actually a institute for, the history of theories of consciousness or something like that. There's a lot of, I just don't know who to go to. So that's really in a nutshell. Now, simultaneously, there's all the creative stuff. I've built a whole creative career, stand-up philosophy. In my bespoke modality, stand-up philosophy, people can write things down and build their act and have one act. And I do #Socratic improv. Again, She Einstein of consciousness. She Nikola Tesla of bio-electromagnetism. Yeah. I got all. She Darwin, pleasure principle of evolutionary logic plus love intertwined. I've built a whole lexicon because we really can't get there in the current paradigms. We really do need to consult ancestral wisdom. We really do need to up mind-body coherence. So I've built a pitch. This is how I first I want you to read the pitch. It's 1,800 words. It's highly concise given I've solved everything in the universe. Literally, my theory of consciousness will help physicists, I think, and odds on, explain why the universe is expanding. Odds on, my theory of consciousness completely explains why we are 99% genetically identical to chimps and bonobos, and 100% more likely to end life on this planet. I don't know, we're just going to walk for a little bit of time. I'm not taking over your life. It feels like everyone's so... They just keep saying they want to give me so much and they have absolutely nothing to give. I'm pitching a literary agent who's worked with His Holiness, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Jane Goodall, and as we had talked about, was also responsible for Light on Life by BKS Iyengar. Look at my pitch, help me build that up, and then I got a lot. I should be at Stanford by the time fall term starts up at the end of September. A lot of change I can catalyze. Well-being philosophy. Take the iceberg. Underneath it's the quantum physiology stuff, and it's redefine chronic disease. That's my story. That's how come I ended up homeless. It's a toxic mold exposure. I had to figure out I was always autistic. Well, that's societal abuse for a child to have to figure out how to manage autism by herself. Did it. Top of the iceberg, life-centric thinking. All this is copyright trademark. That's the fullness of Zenzi. Harmony.